Hi there. Everyone out there has had to deal with some shit in their life. I'm sure everyone watching this, or at a bare minimum, everyone knows someone who has had to deal with some shit. Let's be honest, life is full of shit. Every day we see or hear about people, about the shit that depresses us, scares us, and can invoke some serious responses in us. Something driving us to do things we thought we were incapable of. You hear it every day on the news. Let me tell you, in my lifetime, I have had to deal with my own share of shit. I was born with a cardiac defect, a hole in my heart. I had open heart surgery to repair that just 30 months into my life. They fixed the hole, but during the repair, they damaged another part of my heart. Remember, despite my appearance, now, at 30 months old, I was much smaller, and my heart was smaller than your fist. So easy for a doctor to have an accident when repairing a small child's heart. The accidental damage did not manifest itself until I was 7 years old. Then my heart quit. Right there one sunny day while riding my bike. Just like that, you're dead. Dead of cardiac arrest. Lying in the driveway, face down in the gravel. Clearly they fixed me enough, clearly they fixed me up enough to be here today. And I'm very grateful to those doctors, nurses, and those dedicated emergency workers who saved my life many times. I've never once asked, why me? Choosing to be thankful for my life and the efforts of those who saved me. They installed a pacemaker to keep my heart beating. Because on its own, it worked at 40 beats per minute, or sometimes none at all. That's bad. In case you don't understand medical terms, 0 heartbeats equals dead. So when my heart beat at 0, it didn't work. Pacemakers are wonderful and have kept me alive for 40 plus years. But several of the models I've had quit working. And there I was, dead again. In fact, I died literally over 100 times. But they kept finding ways to bring me back. With little or no effect whatsoever. Although some might disagree and say I had brain damage. But the doctors said I was fine. I always found ways to break pacemakers. Unlike so many cars today, I even had one recalled. How you deal with shit in your life determines who you are. I actually enjoyed my weeks and sometimes months in the hospital. I learned to love auto racing by practicing in the hallways racing wheelchairs and playing hockey with various medical supplies. The doctors and nurses at the Hospital for Sick Children in Toronto indulged me, and I loved them for their patience and their compassion. Without them, I would be gone, dead, as I said. I saw other children leave their rooms in the morning, never to return. Some went home. Some went to another world. I saw joy. I saw elation. I saw desperation, and I saw despair. I experienced my father walking out of my life before I was even a teenager. I saw my mother drink herself to death before her life should have been over. I lived in places you now see on TV shows called hoarders. We moved. We moved a lot. It was difficult. I was left to fend for myself at the age of 12, often roaming the streets till 2 or 3 in the morning while my mother worked the night shift at the hospital to provide for us. It wasn't her fault. She had to provide. But I did all right. I never asked, why me? My mother was a strong woman who instilled in me the will to succeed and the attitude to persevere, and never let life be an excuse. We play the hand we're dealt, and we continually try to make our lives better through hard work, acceptance, and the knowledge that we are who we are because of the choices we make and the directions we choose. We determine our own course, and we make a conscious decision to embark on the journey with a positive attitude or a defeatist attitude, a can-do or a can't-do attitude, an attitude that brings us strength and character, or one that destroys the character of others around us. Why me? Because it is who I am. I am who I choose to become. I realized very early in life that I must learn to live with who I was and I must be excited to be me, to face the challenges I faced. This shaped my spirit, my strength, and my very being. I simply accepted my life and continued to make the most out of opportunities while being happy to be alive. I wanted to be alive and to live. I hated school because I found it boring. I wanted something more exciting. I missed about an equal amount of school in days absent to days at school. Teachers said that I was very smart, but didn't apply myself. Man, were they correct. I later found that I enjoyed school, actually, if I chose the topic and had an interest. I was pretty smart. Perhaps in grade school and even high school, to some extent, we need to let people find their path, to become engaged, to attach to what they are learning. But that's another topic. I chose good friends. Not always, but I quickly realized when to walk away from those who were not on the path I wanted. I learned from my experiences. I made decisions based on them. But I was accepting of others as they were going to parties with drug dealers, friends who were drinking underage. This was not an issue for me. This was their decision. They were my friends. I was not under peer pressure. My choices were mine, and because I was clear in my decisions, I did not have issues with external pressure. My friends let me be me. People are swayed because they are weak, and they don't believe in their own stand, or develop a false need to be accepted. If you believe that you are strong, if you believe you can be strong and be a part of whatever you choose, people respect strong decision makers. In schoolyards, in bars, in sports, everywhere. If you respect yourself and take a stand, people will like you for who you are and respect you for your decisions. I made the decision at 12 or 11 years old, somewhere in that neighborhood, not to drink alcohol. I had seen it kill my grandfather, and I knew it was destroying my mother. A brilliant woman in her late 30s chose to become a nurse, to learn more about my condition, and to take better care of me. She graduated at the top of her class. She was with a group of early 20s young college students taking nursing. She was in her late 30s. She started a rewarding career, but the bottle caught up with her. And I could see this happening, so I made the decision. And to this day, I've never had a drink. I've been to lots of parties. I've been asked a million times. But once I was clear and made my decision from my heart, I've never had an issue with peer pressure. I've never had an issue with not drinking. It's never been a problem. Why? Because of me. That's why. People who continually ask me, why me? Why me? Honestly, really piss me off. People ask this when they want to blame someone, when they're looking for an excuse. They're looking for something to justify their situation. I personally take ownership of my life, and I am accountable for my situation. Regardless of how it came to be, it is mine and I own it. You are accountable for your situation, and you own it. We can only deal with the present and the future. We cannot change the past, nor can we control external situations, occurrences, and what others do. We can only control ourselves. So why me? Because of your attitude, your decisions, how you choose to deal with the shit that happens every day and up to this point in your life has already happened. I was born with a hole in my heart, and it ultimately resulted in many cardiac arrests, as I said, and me having technically died many times over. I chose, at 7 years old, not to tell teachers, not to tell friends about my condition. I did so because I wanted to be seen as normal. I did not wish to be treated any differently than the other children I played with, my friends. While I now know that my mother obviously told teachers and parents of close friends, in my mind, it was a complete secret. This was my decision. I did everything the other kids did. I did some things that my condition was not supposed to allow me to do. Doctors may have been upset if they knew I did these things, but I chose to be who I was. There are things I wasn't allowed to do. This caused me to break several pacemakers and scare the hell out of my mother and the doctors and nurses. Because as I said, when a pacemaker breaks, you're dead. But they always managed to resuscitate me, and here I am today. My mother, as I said, was a brilliant woman, became a nurse. She dealt with the adversity of losing my philandering father and having to deal with my condition at the same time extremely well. Became a nurse, did well, had a rewarding career, but drank herself to death over the course of the next 15 years. Her immediate response to my illness was to become a nurse. She didn't ask why me. She stepped up and took ownership of the situation. So how do you deal with adversity? Do you choose to be positive? Do you choose to persevere? Do you believe? Do you take a stand in your own decisions? This short message is simply about not looking for excuses, not asking why me, taking your life into your own hands and moving forward, making things better. I hope you've enjoyed this quick message. I'll talk to you soon. Have a good night.